The ship drifted through the endless void, its silver hull glowing under the distant light of unknown stars. The crew of the Odyssey had traveled far beyond the mapped territories of the galaxy. They were the first explorers to step into the uncharted realm known as the Vale of Shadows, a place whispered about in old space myths. Captain Elias Kane stood at the bridge, staring at the vast emptiness ahead. His crew, a team of skilled navigators, scientists, and engineers, had prepared for many things. But they were not prepared for what they found drifting just beyond the veil, a massive structure, floating like a forgotten moon. "That's no asteroid," whispered Dr. Lin, the ship's xenobiologist. "It's something else." The structure was smooth, metallic, and shaped like a great spiraling tower, its surface etched with glowing lines that pulsed with an eerie blue light. The readings were strange, no clear signs of life, yet something was responding to the ship's presence. "Open a channel," Kane ordered. "Let's see if anyone is listening." The communications officer sent out a universal greeting. No words came back. Instead, the tower's lights flickered, first slow, then fast, then in a mesmerizing pattern that seemed too structured to be random. "It's a language," Lin realized. "They don't speak. They communicate with light." The crew scrambled to decode the pulses, comparing them to every known system of communication. Hours passed, but they managed to translate only a single repeating pattern. It was a warning. The tower's light pulsed the same message over and over: "IT is coming." "What does that mean? What is coming?" Kane demanded. Before anyone could answer, the ship's sensors flared red. Something was moving, something massive. The distant stars seemed to ripple, as if space itself was shifting. Then, a shadow darker than the void itself stretched across the cosmos, blotting out entire constellations. The crew of the Odyssey had made first contact. And they were not alone. The void trembled as the shadow expanded. The crew watched in stunned silence as the darkness took form, an enormous structure, larger than a planet, its edges flickering with a ghostly shimmer. It was neither solid nor gas, neither ship nor celestial body. It was something beyond human understanding. The tower's lights flashed frantically. The pulses were no longer a warning. They were a plea. "Run! We need to move, now!" Kane shouted. "Full thrust away from that thing." The Odyssey's engines roared to life, but the shadow's presence was inescapable. It loomed like a waking nightmare, tendrils of darkness stretching toward the ship. The crew's instruments flickered, screens flashing unreadable symbols. Then, the voices started. Not in sound, but in thought. Whispers of sorrow and regret filled their minds, voices of a lost civilization speaking in a language of emotion rather than words. Flashes of distant memories, of burning stars and vanishing worlds, danced in their vision. Dr. Lin gasped. "It's history. This thing, it devours civilizations." The crew realized the truth. The shadow was not just an entity. It was a graveyard of knowledge, a cosmic force that consumed and absorbed entire worlds, leaving nothing behind but an echo of what once was. The tower's messages weren't just warnings, Lin whispered. They were records, the last cries of those it has already taken. The darkness drew closer, pulling at their thoughts, their very memories. Kane struggled to focus. How do we stop it? A single pulse of light blinked from the tower, one last desperate message. The answer is within. The ship trembled, caught between the light and the void. The crew had seconds to decide. And then, the darkness reached them. Kane felt his mind slipping. The darkness wasn't just consuming them, it was unraveling them, pulling their very essence into its endless abyss. Then, the tower flared, brighter than before, its pulse striking the darkness like a beacon. The shadow recoiled, its tendrils retreating from the ship. "It's afraid of the light." Lin gasped. "That's the answer." Desperate, Kane made the call. Divert all power to external lights. Blast everything we've got. The Odyssey's hull erupted in a brilliant glow, beams of raw energy slicing through the void. The shadow let out a silent shriek, retreating like mist before the dawn. It thrashed, trying to hold its grip on the ship, but the light was relentless. Then, in a final desperate move, Lin activated the tower's core. The entire structure pulsed one last message, stronger, deeper, like a heartbeat shaking the very fabric of space. The shadow shattered. In its place, countless tiny lights flickered and drifted away, fragments of knowledge, remnants of civilizations long lost. The tower dimmed, its final duty complete. Kane watched as the pieces of the past scattered into the cosmos. It didn't destroy them, he murmured. It preserved them. Lin nodded. Not a graveyard. A library. The Odyssey had survived. But the legend of the shadow and the language of light would live on, whispered in the void, waiting for the next traveler who dared to listen.